Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna give you some art advice that no one asked for, but I'm still here giving you my top 10 tips to improve your art, improve your digital art immediately. So I started with art when I was a kid, like drawing, painting. Then some years ago, I think like 5 years ago, I got my iPad because I wanted to do digital art, and those were my first tries. What should I say? It's not good. I hate them. But I like that I hate them because now I like my recent art even more because I know where I came from. So this is my art right now. Some recent digital paintings I made, like scenery, portraits. So you know my art style and what I'm talking about. Number one tip that I had to learn the hard way: leave the airbrush alone. Because when you come from like traditional painting, the airbrush is heaven. But if you use the airbrush too much, it will look so soft and the contrast will just look off. If you're good at painting but only use airbrush, I feel like someone that knows like to do shading and contrast with no airbrush, it looks better than the other version. Okay, the tip number 2 is something that I don't know why I never did. I just felt like, nah, my art is alright. It's okay, I don't have to look at the reference. But every time I looked at a reference, the painting turned out so much better. This doesn't only apply to digital art, also art in general, because I was always the art kid. Everyone was like, yeah, I can draw so good. So I was like, yeah, I can draw good. But I was always drawing the same thing. A face, a girl face, portrait. No poses, no like cool angles, you know. So I started to look at the reference also for color inspo, for color palette. My brain can't comprehend like everything. It helped me so much. Like sometimes I browse on Pinterest for poses. Take inspiration from everywhere. You can reference your own hand. Why do you have to like try to imagine everything if you can just like look at the reference, and if you did it once, you don't have to look at reference every time because you learned, you know kind of how it works. Like it will turn out in your own art style if you look at the reference. Don't trace, because I never looked at the reference. I always drew the same stuff. And my paintings were alright, but boring. If I like put every painting I did next to each other, it looks so similar, like no spice. It's like always the same. Tip number 3 is something that I have to tell myself, and it's understand the app and shortcuts. I draw on Procreate, but I always tell to myself, I'm lazy. But if you're like just lazy once, you have to do more work 100 times in the future just because you were like too lazy to figure out a shortcut. But if you have the shortcut in your head or like set up on the app, the future you will thank you. I have some shortcuts, but I know that I could learn the app so much more and it would make it so much easier for me. But yeah, it's a tip also for me. I'm also learning. So that's the third tip. Then let's go to the next. Look at older work and see your improvement, because that really motivates me. If you think your art is good, look at your art 2 years ago, and it will be the same for the future you 2 years ahead. Like English is not my first language. I think you noticed. So yeah, we're in art class, not English class, okay? The next tip, I have so many art blogs. I have art blogs over a month, and I don't draw on paint at all in that time. But sometimes like I just look videos, like tutorials or different techniques. Then it motivates me. Then I'm like, okay, let's try. Just because like one video where I tried a new technique, if I like the technique, like I can use it again and again, and with like a lot of new techniques, the art gets so much like better, I think. That's kind of similar to the next tip. Try out new stuff. Brush, color, poses. There are so many brushes, but I always use the same. And I also tend to use the same color palette. My art is not really saturated. It's like my art style thing. But sometimes you have to just try something new. Even if you don't like it, you know in the future it's not for you. But if you never tried, how would you know? If I never tried something new, I would be still stuck in like high school art. Reminder. The reminder is, it's art, not math. It's not math class, so there's no correct or wrong. Art is supposed to be here to like have fun, express yourself, feelings that you can't put in words, or just to have fun. So there's no wrong or right. Okay? I went to art school for a year. I didn't learn anything. They didn't tell me what I did good, they didn't tell me what I did bad. I literally didn't learn anything. I was just there to draw, and I improved so much just because I drew every day. And that's also like not a tip, not to draw every day, but learning by doing. It's true though. Like if you do something a lot, you get better and better and better. But with the tips, like look at the reference sometimes, try something new. Yeah. I didn't do a YouTube video like where I like just talk normal. Like, it's so long. I hope it's alright. And the next tip is improve your line art. Cause line art, there are like so many different types of line art. You can put a little bit of shading in your line art. Like do some thinner strokes, some thicker strokes. There are also people that use like sketching as a line art. You can try out new stuff with every step, like line art, color, shading. Try out so many things. Okay, then the next tip, I never thought about it, but then I saw it like in a lot of videos. Let's mirror the canvas. Sometimes when you look at something so long, when you're sketching and stuff, then you flip the canvas. I'm shocked. Sometimes I'm like, how did I not see that it looks so off? Do that sometimes. I do that like with every step. When I did a sketch, I flipped the canvas before I started line art. And then for the next step, again. And use the tools. Digital art is here too. Use the tools. Like you can liquefy. If you draw something like on a paper, you have to like erase it first to like do the eye bigger, or but digital art, you can just make it bigger, and that's great. If you like fucked up something, you can just like press one button and it's gone. On the canvas, like in real life, you have to erase it and everything smudges. Use the layers smart. When I started out with digital art, I didn't care. I was like, okay, new layer. And then I had like 50 layers. It was such a mess. When I was searching like a hair strand, I had to like press every layer because I couldn't find where it is. And now I'm more organized. I have like for example, background things, and then details, skin, hair, and then on top of the skin layer I have a layer for the face shading or hair. It's still kind of messy, but compared to when I was beginning. Oh hell, wait, maybe I can show you. Okay, you see, that's like a drawing I made in the beginning. Look at the layers. Like one layer for like some grass strands, like then one layer for fish, and then what's even that? Like one layer for bubbles underneath the grass that you can't even see. 4 layers for everything is just so chaotic. Here you see it's still chaotic, but it's a little bit more organized. The hairs are together, the skin is together, the outfit is like together. Like I know how to handle my chaos because I'm used to it. As I said, I'm also still learning. And the 10th tip, the last one. You know why it's the last one? because I'm trying to like push it away from me, and it's consider learning color theory, anatomy and shading. I try to like push that part away and try to like use a reference so I don't have to learn it. Like color theory, it's crazy. Like there's a painting and you think something is white, but if you like color drop, it's blue. And I think it's too much for my head, to be honest. But still, it's a tip. Because if you learned it, future you will thank you. And you'll be like, why didn't I learn it sooner? Funny to say that while I don't even look at that kind of stuff. So yeah, those were my tips from a random girl in this world that also does art, that tries to help other people improve their art. And yeah, I really hope it was helpful and that you could learn a bit. And thanks so much for watching, and we will see us next time. Bye bye, have a nice day.